It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast on this, the 9th day of January 2024, coming to you from a very soggy, wet Bedford County, Virginia. Pouring down rain. We're supposed to get 3 to 3.5 inches of rain today. Wow, I might have to let water out of the pool. All right, we do have some headlines today, folks. A North Carolina travel agent defrauds the elderly. Sun Princess itinerary change. MSC World Cruises makes major itinerary changes. Another ship snaps moorings. Norway to ban high pollution ships. And 30,000 new berths in 2024. That and a lot more here at 11 o'clock this morning on Tuesday, Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. Today, folks, is National Apricot Day. Not my favorite fruit. And I like most citrus fruits. But for some reason, apricots just don't do it for me. You know, they're like plums. Plums don't do it for me either. I don't really dislike them. It's just kind of, eh. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you. What was that? Oh, that's my phone telling me there's a weather alert. Yeah, you're going to flood, probably. Anyway, sorry about that. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access it wherever you get your podcast from. All the big hitters, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy who half the time, as is this morning, can't talk. So anyway, you can get the old fat guy pretty easily. If you are listening via the podcast, there's always a link in the description so you can hop over to the video feed just in case you want to see pictures or clips or interviews from that day's show. It's been another pretty good day subscriber-wise. We've added another 12, 14 new subscribers from where we were yesterday. So, now it's just sitting back and waiting till we get to, the 10,000 mark. I wonder how long it's going to take me to do that. By the way, folks, if you haven't already done so, smash that thumbs up button. That helps the channel out tremendously. And take this as my invitation to subscribe in case you haven't done so already. The bell notification, you'll be notified when I go live or when a new video is up. Of course, here in another couple weeks, I'm going to be on a couple cruise ships, and there'll be a lot of live. There might also be Facebook lives. So it just depends on my signal and so forth. Looking at starting some live streams for TikTok. I'm having technical issues with that. And the possibility of Instagram lives as well. So we'll see. Right now, it's just I'm on YouTube, Facebook, and X, which used to be Twitter. Everybody talked about me hitting the 5,000 mark the last couple days. The same day I hit 225,000 followers on X. So I wish my YouTube channel was as big as my following on the former Twitter. So, all right. The lead story today, folks, this one kind of angered me a bit. Charles Eric Johnson, owner of Carolina Blue Tours out of Statesville, North Carolina, was charged with 6 felony counts of obtaining property by false pretenses. He's suspected of targeting and cheating elderly customers out of a total of $25,000. The Airedale County Sheriff's Office says Johnson took payment for a cruise, but no bookings were ever made, at least not in the customers' names. One day before the cruise date, Johnson falsely informed his customers the sailing was canceled and didn't immediately issue any refunds. Johnson then went on the cruise himself. He's been released on a $6,000 bond and has a court hearing on January the 17th. Now, guys, this points out something that's, probably important to say, because many of us now book things online. And now I've got people that are calling me and booking things through me and Nate, which is wonderful. Some of you may not know me from, some jackleg down the street. Some of you might. But when I do a booking for somebody on a cruise, I immediately send a copy of the confirmation and all the cruise information to you, the customer. Within a few minutes, you get a copy of the same thing from the cruise line. If you book a cruise with a travel agent anywhere and you don't have those things at your disposal immediately, there's something wrong. You need to look into it, because it literally can happen instantaneously. Now, there can be, like one thing we're finding out on the Magnifica is they have not assigned cabins yet. Well, why is that? Because this is the Bella experience, which is done for the least expensive. This was a bargain cruise. Okay. They don't assign cabins right at the time of purchase, but the cabins are guaranteed. I don't know. It can be anywhere from 5 to 14 days before the cruise that they actually assign cabins. I just got my assignment Sunday, I think it was Saturday or Sunday this weekend on mine. And I was the first one booked on the Magnifica. So my customers that are sailing with me are now waiting for that. And, always feel free to call me and I can send you copies of exactly what I have if it's something different from yours. I was not aware of that, so I could tell my customers that was what was going to happen. And this is something that I learned on the fly. But if you get nothing, you got a problem. So, all right. I'll be back with a couple more news stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. The next story, folks, comes from our friends over at Princess. Princess Cruises' upcoming Sun Princess already has an itinerary change for her inaugural cruise. The new ship will no longer call on Santorini, Greece during the maiden voyage due to maintenance on the Santorini cable car. Instead, the Sun Princess will visit Crete. Uh, yeah, I would be disappointed if I was on that. But, they're fixing the Santorini, the cable car is something that they need and is used by a lot of people. So I can understand it. And Crete's not, I mean, it's certainly not bad, but at least they came up with a place for people to go. So there's just weren't giving you an extra day at sea. All right. The next story comes from MSC. MSC Cruises has been forced to make some significant changes to the itinerary of its world cruise on board MSC Poesia, which set off on her 121 world cruise on the 5th of January from Genoa, Italy. The new itinerary bypasses the Red Sea, sailing west of the Mediterranean down Africa's west coast around Cape of Good Hope, and then north along the African east coast. The adjustment removes stops in Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia, including the passage that MSC Poesia would make through the Suez Canal, and replaces them with new destinations like Alicante and Malaga in Spain, Tenerife in the Canary Islands, Dakar in Senegal, and Mindelo in Cape Verde. Despite the changes, most original destinations are still included in the itinerary, but in a different order. This means that ports on Africa's east coastline, such as Mombasa, Kenya, Mauritius, Madagascar, and Durban, South Africa, are now towards the end of the first half of the voyage. So, understood with the situation over there that the Poesia has had to make some changes. The unfortunate part is that literally the changes were made like just days before the sailing. So, I hope the people are understanding of what the situation that MSC was in because of things going on in the world. So, all right. The next story today. Over the weekend, the MSC Sinfonia, anchored in port in Syracuse, Italy, experienced challenging weather conditions marked by gale force winds reaching up to 50 knots. Unfortunately, those powerful winds led to the breaking of the mooring lines, resulting in MSC Sinfonia colliding with other boats within the marina and a dock at the Foro Italico. Despite the substantial impact, the incident did not result in any injuries as the vessel was devoid of passengers, being on a maintenance call since the previous year with occasional shifts to Augusta. However, the collision did cause MSC Sinfonia to sink two boats and inflict damage on other yachts and the marina itself. Responding swiftly, 4 tugboats were deployed to reposition the Sinfonia back to its designated location. In the aftermath, a salvage operation was promptly initiated to secure Sinfonia to moorings in a different, more sheltered position. That's 2 stories in 2 days about moorings breaking. We had the Prima yesterday. Wow. The country of Norway, renowned for its stunning fjords, is gearing up to implement a bold move by banning certain types of cruise ships from its waters by 2026. The government's initiative aims to address the pollution stemming from marine diesel fuel used by older cruise ships, leading to restrictions on their access to Norwegian harbors. The forthcoming zero emission policy poses significant challenges for the cruise sector, prompting companies to explore alternatives such as liquefied natural gas. For instance, MSC Iribia already operates on LNG. Icon of the Seas that's coming out is also going to be LNG. They would be good to sail. Some of the older ships that still use diesel fuel. It'll be interesting to watch how that's going to develop over the next year or so in Norway. And finally, this morning, 2024, we will have roughly 3,250 new berths added to the cruise market for the year. According to data from the new 2024 Cruise Industry News annual report, the new builds will debut for several brands, including Royal Caribbean International, TUI, Cunard, Princess, Disney, Explorer Journeys, and Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection. So, a bunch of new berths for us to fill in 2024. All right, that's going to end the news portion of today. Let's go see who's with us in the chat room. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Gretchen's here. Here's Hot Air Tom. I didn't have anything to fuss at Hot Air Tom about today. Boy, how much they gotten up late. Raining mucho here too. School's closing early. Wow. Well, you've got rivers there. I mean, we just have one river here. I haven't heard anything about schools closing early, but we had a pretty good rains last couple days, and then a couple days without rain. And you're going to throw in 3 to 3.5 inches on top of that. That's a lot of rain for this area. Katie's with us. Good morning, Katie. We may have high winds this afternoon. 17 days till Icon. Okay, I knew it was coming up pretty soon. We're supposed to have high winds here tomorrow, possibly some this afternoon and this evening. But and by the way, folks, you've probably noticed I have a new microphone set up today. My old microphone, my old headset microphone, died. I've actually buried it in the backyard. So I had to get a new one before I go on this next cruise, where I use my big ass microphone. I can't travel with that. The thing weighs about 50 pounds. No, that ain't gonna happen. So if I tried to use the phone, which I use the phone as the webcam, but if I tried to use that as for audio as well, when I'm on a cruise, you hear all the background noise, and that doesn't cut it. So I got headsets with, and I'm trying to get used to it being on this side. My old one, the microphone was over here, so it's opposite. So just a little getting used to. There's Gary, older than dirt. Good morning. Congratulations on the 5,000. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's, that's just, it's been, I've often wondered how the big guys like Tony and Don and Emma, how they soar to the numbers that they've achieved. And I've been doing this as long as most of them have, or close to it. And I've struggled to get to 5,000. So I need to get better at what I do, I guess. The backside stuff. not necessarily on the air stuff. But yeah, I mean, you get up to those kind of numbers, you make enough money that pays for going on cruises. I don't make enough money to do that. I still pay for cruises out of my pocket. Or if like I'm hosting a cruise, maybe I get a free one. I get to go for free if I'm working. So anyway, we'll see. There's Cindy. Hi, Cindy. Steve's with us out in Kentucky. There's Sherry Brown. Good morning, Chillie. Give me a call when you can. Yes, Sherry, I will do that. I saw your message, but it was at like 4 o'clock this morning. Last night, I croaked. So, yes, Sherry, I will give you a call here just in a few minutes. I do have a message for you. Emily is with us up in New York. Hi, Em. Katie, do you have everything for your Icon trip? Emily, we don't think that far ahead. I mean, I start packing for mine the day before I leave. Cindy says 54 days to the Bliss. I'm looking forward to you being on the Bliss as well, because that's my transatlantic ship for January of next year with Hot Air Tom. Katie says, I'm not packed yet. Get packing, Katie. Oh, you guys. Yeah, no. I know. Just throw it in and go. I don't want to leave a suitcase laying around for 3 weeks. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I appreciate each and every one of you, whether you're here or not. And I'll be back same time tomorrow with some more of this silliness. So, that's it for today, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. You guys have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.